Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. We have got a gorgeous sunrise on a not so gorgeous day. Yeah, we're on the backside of a lot of bad weather. Still a little bit of the motion left, but this is as good as it's going to get. So I'm just trying to take the opportunity to have a good day's fishing. It is a stunning time of day to be out, isn't it? Yeah, the plan today is I'm going to go and try and find a little bit of sheltered reef to anchor up on and do a bit of mixed fishing. But the first thing I'm going to do is try and find some bait, and that is what we're looking for. Patches like that. So let's get the feathers out. I've got a feeling today that we are going to see a few of these. I'm fishing over an area of really snaggy reef with little patches of squid, because what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping for bream. Now, living in this same area, there are an awful lot of pouting, pocord and wrasse. So we are going to see a bycatch of those today. I'm here a little bit early and I'm still waiting for the tide to properly turn. At the moment we've got wind against tide. In about 3/4 of an hour to an hour we will have wind and tide together, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more of a comfortable day. At this time of year, with the conditions like they are, you just have to take any opportunity you can. Any small weather window might be the only one you're going to get for a couple of weeks. The rod behind me, that one up there, I've just loaded new braid onto that reel. And what I've done is I've tied a bottle to it, and I'm going to let the bottle drift away as far as I can go until it almost empties the spool. And then wind it back. Wind it back under tension to get the line on the spool tight. And there's Mrs. Cuckoo Wrasse. Yeah, I'm going to see a lot of these today. Now, the reason you want your line to be tight on the spool of your reel is because if it's slack, when you cast, a lot of line can come off, called a wind knot. You end up like a bird's nest. Whereas the line, when it's been used quite a bit, is quite tight onto the spool like that. You want the spool of line to be bedded down. So that's what we're doing now. Let it run off for 20 minutes. Let the float drift away. Then wind it back under tension. Put the line on the spool. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. That's how I tend to do it. When we get a little bit more settled, I am going to put a conger rig down. I did catch some mackerel and some pilchards on the way over here, so I am going to see if I can pull a bigger fish out as well while I'm here. There's no point when we're swinging round like this, just because I'll get hitched up in the bottom. As soon as we get sat more stable, then we'll get the bigger baits out. A double shot cuckoo wrasse. one of the beauties about fishing shallow like this, taking your time to bring them up. You always go back. If you bring them up too quick or you're fishing real deep water, quite often those swim bladders can blow. Fishing shallow like this, everything, touch wood, should be able to go back if I wanted to. And whatever this is bigger. I'm thinking it's probably a ling, the way that it hit. Oh wow! Now that is a very big pollock. Very big. Oh. No, I was not expecting that. I can't even show you the hook inside of its mouth. Look at the size of that. Now that is a monster. That's got to be, that's a double figure pollock. I'm gonna stick it in that live bait well there. It's too big to fit in my live bait tank. But yeah, that was incredible. That was that's like a size 4 hook on a 7 to 24 grams, a low rod. It was just rattling about, and then I just struck and it just went. Didn't even get time to get the camera turned on. That is fun. I'm gonna get a weight on that. Yeah, that pollock was a real bonus. Just goes to show you never can tell, can you? Fishing with little tiny hooks and little tiny baits on the bottom. There's every chance there that what might have happened was there was like a little tiny fish around it looking at the bait, and the pollock's seen the fish and come in and gone for it, and then seen my feathers as well. But yeah, that is a brilliant pollock. It's going to go straight in the freezer. Because the area where I'm fishing, it's like incredibly snaggy. It's just a boulder field. And as we are moving around still a little tiny bit, I am having to keep good contact with the lead. So you'll see I keep bouncing it. And I can feel it going down crevices and like up on top of stuff. And as we go over waves as well. So you are going to lose gear. But if you can stay in contact with it like I am, not only do you get on top of the bite straight away, but you lose less gear. This isn't the type of fishing where you can just put a rod in a rod rest and watch it. Bream bites are like really positive rattling bites, and the fight is like a really jagged one, a lot like a wrasse. Now they have only got small mouths in comparison to their bodies, So you do generally have to use smaller hooks. So I'm going to be using like size 2s and size 4s. You can fish smaller as well, but you've got a problem there that if you use really small hooks and you're catching a lot of wrasse and things like that, they swallow the hooks. So I'll probably miss more fish because the hooks are a little bit bigger, but less fish will swallow it down deep. We have got some rain coming. I'm going to have to put the camera away. There you can see now, I've emptied the spool off, tightened the drag right up. That bottle is, oh god, probably 250 yards away. And I just wind it in under tension like that, so that it puts the line on the spool tight. That line is now tight on that spool. And all it was just a bottle with a load of water in it. I've changed spots slightly just because I didn't like the way that I was sat. The area of reef that I was on, I was right on top of a pinnacle, and every single time we swung around a little bit, I was just going to get my gear hitched into it. So I've crabbed along maybe about 100 yards just to find like a little bit of a gully, and the gully actually runs in a diagonal that way. So hopefully I'll be able to fish into the back of it. Just exactly the same as before. I'm just using little 2-hook rigs. Now I have made some up. I'll show you those in a second. But the first ones I'm using was just a set of feathers that I had. Just 2 mackerel feathers with a little bit of squid on. Now it's just frozen calamari. And I've just cut it up into little tiny strips, maybe about this long. Squid's been quite hard to find this year. I've done a couple of squidding trips and I've had one. I got those actually from a local tackle shop called Jammy's. It's called Jammy because he's just the luckiest guy in the world. Could fall in harbour and he'd come out with a salmon. Let's get a couple of big baits set out, see if we can't get a scent trail going. That was a breamy bite. I don't think it is a bream, but the bite that I got felt like one. What did I say? Cuckoo wrasse. A lovely looking male cuckoo wrasse. They are beautiful, aren't they? This guy, whoa, calm down. He's been eating sand eels, look. And little tiny blennies. He's spitting out a little blenny as well. Greedy fella. Yes! Yes! That's what I was after! There we go. A little bar of soap with pins in it. These are really difficult to hold because they are covered in spikes, but they are lovely, aren't they? This is too small, this little black bream here. But this is the target species. This is a black bream. This one's not even a pound. I'm after them over £2. I'm gonna put him in that live bait tank, get a photo of him. But yeah, that's the target species. Just a couple of strips of squid like that. Perfect. I am pleased. Even though it's not a big one, it is the target species. It's always good to catch the fish that you're after. Lets you at least know that you're doing something right. And another cuckoo wrasse. Well, the session wouldn't have been the same without one, would it? If it's a conger eel, it's a very small one. I think it's a dogfish. Yep, well there you go. That conger rig worked perfectly, didn't it? Pretty little bugger. There you go. That stinking eel has pooped everywhere. Well, the conger rig worked, didn't it? This is one of my fish locker conger rigs. I'm producing these in conjunction with Cox and Roll. I will tag a link into the description of this video showing you where you can get these. But that just shows you they work. Baited with mackerel. Unfortunately, I can't choose how big they're going to be. Usually the smaller ones come out first. We are rolling around a little bit still. Fingers crossed we might be able to pull out a big one as well. This bait has been back down there about 2 minutes. And there's a bite on it already. Right, I think it's a dogfish. They're bad for doing that. I can feel it shaking its head. Leave it where it is and hope a conger eel comes and finds it. It's not a bad thing having little fish chewing up your bait, because it creates more of a scent trail. Where's them bream? And another one. Ah! I know that I'll bring this up and I'll have taken all the bait off. I think it's just like a shoal of little tiny ones, because they're like piranhas. Yes! Yes! I knew they were down there. That's a slightly better one. Knew they were down there. Ooh, swinging about all over the place now. Get some fresh baits down. This is my breaming rig. It's a two hook standoff rig, and I've just put a couple of little beads on, and these have got size 4 chinoos on. If the fish down there are going to be smaller, I'll scale down my hooks to catch them. The wind's picked up and it's starting to get a little bit sloppy now, and I know that we've got rain coming. So I'm going to wrap it up. Just going to take one quick look at these. Now, this was the first one. Whoa, easy. Now you need to be careful because every single one of these is a spine. Now, even though this is silver, it's called a black bream. But with this one, you can kind of see what they're talking about, can't you? See how it's gone like a smoky grey? It's nice to catch a target species, but they're too small to keep. Like I said, I would have liked one about £2. I'm going to start tidying up a little bit. I'm going to fish these last baits out and we'll see about pulling the anchor up. Of course, it's getting sloppy. Well, I'm going to call it a day. Considering the conditions, I think I've made a pretty good day of it. I caught the target species. I didn't catch any big enough to keep. Like I said, I wanted like a £2. I wanted one big enough so that it would be worth baking, so that a couple of three of us could have some nice fillets on it. It was nice to know that I was doing the right thing because I did catch the target species. Got a stunning pollock. That really was like a cracking bonus fish. I'm going to fillet that off because this time of year you really do have to take advantage of every single weather opportunity. It might be 3 more weeks before I can get out on the boat again. So that was brilliant. Just kept it really simple. I talked through the rigs as I was doing it. Lots and lots of cuckoo wrasse and pouting. I didn't turn the camera on for most of them. I must have had, goodness, in excess of 50. But yeah, 50 cuckoo wrasse for 2 bream. I don't know if that's a very good ratio, but you've just got to fish through them. I hope you've enjoyed joining me. All the very best. See you later. And there we go. Grapple anchor rigged to trip out backwards. See you later.